real sex, genuine, intimate relationship versus sex that happens in porn. What's the difference? Today, I'm going to be talking about two very important perspectives on this. One perspective is going to be about the actual difference between sex that happens in real life and sex that happens in pornography. How are they different? How does it compare? And how do you compare? But also, importantly, is what is the difference between sex and the act of watching pornography, if that makes sense. Because in nature, theoretically, they're both sexual acts. Watching porn, masturbating, and actually having sex, the end result is a sexual experience. But I'm talking about fundamentally how they are very different things and actually completely opposites in many senses, all right? So first of all, how is sex in real life different from sex that happens in porn? Well, first of all, the pornography is an act. Pornography is people that are recording pornography, whether professionally or not. It's something that they're portraying, something that they're doing in order to get views, in order to make things appealing. It's kind of has a third-party element of it. It's not really about genuinely both individuals having a connective experience just for themselves in that exclusive relationship. It's really about a performance. So by nature of it being a performance, that means that women are typically kind of like more of a high standard or Instagram standard of what beauty is that is very unrealistic, and quite frankly, most women, I'm willing to bet, if you're in a relationship, you're married, or anything like that, your wife or your partner does not look like that. And that's why pornography is very appealing all the time. Okay, that's first and foremost, is that women and men are very biologically, physically, characteristically very different and overinflated in many ways. And also the genitalia, even the organs, the sexual organs of a man and a woman in porn videos is completely over exaggerated and completely, well maintained without getting too graphic. It's very unrealistic to experience like that. And also on top of that, very importantly, is the nature of watching pornography itself. And this is kind of segueing into the second point. The nature of pornography itself is that it is a highly addictive behavior. It is a highly addictive form of sexual behavior that is constantly novel. It's constantly ever growing. It's constantly trying to target and get views and make money through viewers. So by nature of that, pornography is overinflated. Pornography is just over the top, and it's not really a healthy, real perspective on what sex is. And also the nature of pornography is that it's ever growing and ever novel, meaning that basically anytime you open your phone or computer, there's new people, there's new experiences, new fantasies. It's not a realistic portrayal of what real life is like. And this leads us to the second point, and really I think the most important one, is how real sex is not related at all to what pornography is. If you think about the act of watching porn and masturbating, it is simply just watching images or pixels on a screen. It is not a sexual experience if the definition of a sexual experience is a connective experience. If it's a way to direct your sexual energy, which is a kind of a playful and a connective and a creative energy. If it's just used to satisfy yourself sexually, then it's actually nothing to do with pornography, right? If you think about the reason that pornography becomes addictive for most people is because the act of masturbating and having that strong sexual stimulus, which is a sexual experience, masturbating, right, is a sexual experience. You're having a strong sexual stimulation that is connected very strongly to pornography. And essentially what the porn industry has done has created a perfect storm, a perfect system of getting people sexually addicted to pixels on a screen because of its sexual content, but it's not sex. It's not real connectivity. And the reason for that is because if you masturbate to anything at all, then eventually, if you do that enough, you will create a kind of fantasy or a kind of sexual arousal to that thing. If I were to take this water bottle and you were to, this is not sponsored by the way, if you were to masturbate to a water bottle long enough, don't do that please, then eventually you will create an addictive cycle to the water bottle. And it's just that there's this perfect storm, like I said, of pornography being ever growing, ever novel, and we're able to connect our very innate, primal sexual drive and masturbating to something that's sexual. But ideally, what you will do is, through the process of rebooting, which I talked about in the last video, through the process of rewiring your brain, which I talked about in the last video, you will be able to kind of detox yourself from porn content and reattach and reconnect to a physical person, to your wife, okay? And it's through that connection that you will be able to have that addictive reward system in your brain, the reward cycle, addiction to your spouse, to your partner, to having real sex. And that's where the beauty comes. And that's what you should be addicted to, more so than pixels on the screen, okay? So I hope this is helpful. This is also why people generally tend to develop, what are they called? Fetishes. Why people develop fetishes to, I don't want to name any, but weird fetishes to this and that. It's kind of not really because they're interested in water bottles. It's because they've developed a habit of sexually, climaxing, masturbating to specific content, and therefore they become more addicted to it. So that's the reason for that. Okay, I hope if this is helpful, guys. It's good to see you. Thanks for watching. Check out the other videos to really get yourself in check and get yourself in order. Give it a thumbs up if it's helpful. It's good to have you. Take care.